Solve for y in y to the power of 3 minus y equal to the square root of 2. We are asked to find the value of y in this Olympiad exam question. Hello, welcome. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also give this video a thumbs up and remember to share with friends and colleagues. Now, we are going to apply a law in Sqrt before we solve. Remember that in Sqrt, if you have 2 to the power of, if you have 2 multiplied by the square root of 2 minus the square root of 2 in Sqrt, the subtraction of Sqrt values, this would be equal to root 2. Why? Because this would be 2 minus simply having 1 here. 2 minus 1 will give us 1 and the value will be root 2. So what does that tell us? That tells us that we can simply replace root 2 with this value. So let's apply that here. We'll have y to the power of 3 minus y minus root 3 root 2 equal to root 2 minus root 2. So why did we subtract both sides by minus root 2 is to clear root 2 from the right hand side, and that will give us 0. So this will be equal to y to the power of 3 minus y minus root 2, and that will be equal to 0. So what we'll simply do is to replace that value for the value of root 2 from the expression. So let's do that. If we replace that value by the value of root 2, we're going to have y to the power of 3 minus y minus 2 root 3 root 2 minus root 2, and this will be equal to 0. Fine. So we have the bulk on us now to simplify this expression. Now, if we simplify this expression, we're going to have y to the power of 3. This will be minus 2 root 2 minus y minus root 2, and this will be equal to 0. So let's separate this equation. If we separate this equation, we're going to have y to the power of 3 minus 2 root 2, and this will be minus y minus root what? Root 2. That will be equal to 0. Now I want us to do something. In the law of indices, if we have 2 root 2, 2 root 2 can be equal to, we will have our 2 root 2 square is equal to 2, right? Multiplied by root 2. This is still equal to 2 root 2. And do you know that this is still equal to square root of 2 to the power of 3? Why? Because if we have this as 1 here, and according to the law of indices, if we have a to the power of 2 multiplied by a to the power of 2, this will be equal to a to the power of what? 4. Good. So this is equal to this, and it's also equal to this. So why do we do that in this expression? That simply tells us that we can simply make this to become y to the power of 3 minus root 2 cube minus y minus root 2, and this will be equal to 0. Fine. So we're going to apply a law of algebra here. From the algebraic formula, we are meant to realize that a to the power of 3 minus b to the power of 3 can give us a minus b, right? And this will give us multiplied by a square plus ab plus b square. So from this expression, a is equal to y, right? And b is equal to root 2. Now let's bring this expression into light. Let's apply that expression into that equation. If we apply that expression into the equation, we're going to have y minus root 2, right? And this will be what? Y square plus y multiplied by root 2 plus root 2 square, and this will be minus y minus root 2, and this will be equal to 0. Good. Now that expression can now simplify because we have two similar expressions, this and this. So if we take y minus root 2 as a common factor, this will now be, this whole thing divided by this will give us y square plus y multiplied by root 2 plus this will clear this to give us 2, right? And this whole thing divided by this will give us minus 1, and this will be equal to 0. So we'll have y minus root 2 as an expression, and we'll have y square plus y root 2 plus 2 minus 1 equal to 0. So what would that expression give us? This expression will now give us y minus root 2 equal to 0, and also we'll have y square plus y root 2 plus 1 to be equal to 0. So from these two expressions, we can simply simplify to find the value of y. From the first expression, we'll see that our y minus root 2 is equal to 0. If we add root 2 to both sides, we'll find out that our y will be equal to root 2. That's a solution to that exponential equation. Remember, that's a polynomial, and then we are supposed to have 3 solutions to that question. Now, considering the other solution, we have y square plus y root 2 plus 1 equal to 0. So this is same as you having y square plus root 2y plus 1 equal to 0. So we'll solve that quadratic equation. But before we do that, let's find the discriminant of that quadratic equation. The discriminant of that quadratic equation will tell us if that quadratic equation can be, we can find real values to that quadratic equation. This will be equal to b squared minus 4ac. Remember that our a is equal to 1, our b is equal to root 2, and our c is equal to 1. So if we apply that into that discriminant, we are going to have our discriminant to be equal to, that will give us square root of 2 square minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1. This will clear this, we'll have 2 minus 4, and 2 minus 4 is equal to negative 2, which is less than what? 0. So for it to be less than 0, that tells us that there is no real solution to that question. So there is no real solution. we'll end up solving this, we're going to have imaginary solution. So our only solution to that expression is y equal to root 2. That's the only solution to that exponential equation. Now let's check to see if our solution is right. From the original question that is given to us, we are given that y to the power of 3 minus y is equal to root 2. Now let's check to see if the expression, the result y equal to root 2 will suit that value. Now let's see, we have y to the power of 3 minus y is it going to give us root 2. Remember, our result is what? 2 to the power of root 2 minus what? Minus root 2. Now recall an expression we did. We said from that expression initially, we said that 2 root 2 can be equal to root 2 square multiplied by root 2 to the power of 1, and we say it's equal to 2 to the power of what? Root 2 to the power of 3. So we can replace that with this. If we replace that with that expression will now give us root 2 root 2, which is still the same thing as this, minus root 2. Now will this give us root 2, which is the same thing as the right hand side? Of course it can. 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1. So that will give us root 2 to be equal to root 2 on the right hand side. So that tells us that y equal to root 2 is a solution that satisfies that exponential equation we have in the question that's given to us. So this is how far we can go in the solution to this question. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also share this video with friends and colleagues. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more simplified mathematics solution video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye bye for now.